Welcome everyone. Welcome to another day of Be Agile Scrum. We have already transitioned into other weeks towards the end of BA track as well. And today we will be focusing on the BA models continuation. Let me quickly give you a reminder what we need to abide by are certain ground rules in front of you. Are this. The very first one that asks you to be on time under showing up live. So always remember to be on time, remain punctual, remain highly committed, because it is said that how you do anything is how you do everything. The second one that because you chose to learn, that makes you student, but we want you to be the full stack students who does all the assignments, do self-research and repeat what they learn. And for that, you continue to do that. If you continue to do that, it is quite easy to attract success, and that you can take the full responsibility of. But in case you don't do that, don't finish what you start, it will head back to the failure. And when you acknowledge it, embrace it and accept it, then only you may go back and correct it, and then you will realize a failure was not a failure, that became trail to the success. But for that, you need to take the full responsibility of that, both the elements. And for that, it requires a concrete mindset. The very first one is learning mindset, then positive mindset, and complaint free mindset, and getting loaded into more gratitude. And remember, for these, you need to start your day with the highest level of receptivity. And for that, increasing that, we have 30 days challenge. To enroll into that, you need to send me 30 DC, and I'll be sharing you the details how you can enroll into this for free. And this is just a recommendation, not a mandate. And second one, always remember to follow the golden quadrant of learning when it comes to any new learning. And we are going to do this with the declaration with the anchor, and then learning over here. And you draw it using pen and paper after 24 hours of learning, and then summarize it in a way that even 5 years old can understand. We will follow the first and second over here, and third and four at your end. So what we'll do, I'll be putting up the anchor will be the self hi-fi or the clap just now you heard. So what I'm going to do is that I'll be counting 1, 2, 3 and clap. You are going to model this, and then I'm going to read out the selected statement, and you are going to repeat after me. Can you all see the selected statement? Just unmute and say yes if you all can see this.
Yes.
Yeah, please,
Yes.
everyone go on unmute and start modeling me. 1, 2, 3 and clap and repeat. I'm a quick learner.
I'm a quick learner.
I'm a quick learner.
What others can learn and master,
What
What
others
others
can
can
learn
learn
and
and
master.
I too can do that.
I
I
too
can do that.
One more time with another statement which is selected over here. 1, 2, 3 and clap and repeat. Because I'm a quick learner.
Because
Because
I'm
I'm a quick learner.
quick learner.
Today's learning is going to be
Today's learning is
Today's learning is going to be
super duper easy to me.
super duper easy to me.
to me.
Yes, it is going to be because you said so. And remember, in case you could not follow this just because you felt awkward, always remember to keeping ego away on the path of learning as a giver. That makes you more spiritually grounded on the path of growth. When I say spiritually grounded, it means that your happiness level increases. Happiness is today's new productivity. That is the demand of the corporate. And you are here not just for the learning, but also to grow more financially. And it is said that what you want more of, you must start giving away the portion of. And in case you are already earning, start doing 5% of 10% of that giving away to charity. In case you are not learning, can you have at least intent of doing so? Once you start getting placed and start earning, then you can give away where in the cause wherever you believe in, like feeding hungry children, donating into old age home, or um, o- orphanages or temple, churches, gurudwara or mosque. Why? Because when you give, you grow. When you receive, you may survive. And I'm sure that you are not here for the survival, but for the growth as well. And while you do so, and still you don't realize that it is helping you out initially, continue to do so, because that's the universal law that says that what you give continues to grow. Okay, and while you do so, continue to appreciate what you do, what others do for you, and even does not eventually helping, as I said, continue to give, because what you appreciate appreciates you back. And remember how we are going to remain connected, because Sunday we met for technical session at 10 p.m. EST. Monday, today we are meeting for the 10 p.m. EST for the technical session. Tuesday, you must attend the RRP session, because it is the gateway to the placement, and same you need to repeat on Thursday as well, because that strengthens your visibility and that strengthens your credibility, and that calls you for your marketability. And so this is the actually main sessions for which you are joining in over here. Technical session, in case you are already knowing and have fair knowledge about what you are undergoing already, then RRP has to be mandatory anyway for both kind of people who have prior knowledge, or who don't have prior knowledge as well. Wednesday, you need to complete the assignment from the learning of Sunday. Friday, you will be doing the assignment from the learning of Monday, and assignment includes both said or unsaid. More clarity about what is said or unsaid has to be completed. Both the assignments in every single week. And Saturday you can choose to relax or have a breather day. Do the research work if you want to, and repeat whatever you want to learn, or prepare any question that you want to answer on. So yeah, this is how we are going to abide by. Is it clear to everyone? Just say yes if you are very much clear that what does it do. Everyone is clear? Yes. Say yes. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. So guys, be responsive enough, because this is not here because if you'll say that if you're not going to engage with me, I'm going to go and go very low in the energy, which I'm sure that you are not going to like it. And you might have experience today. When I started like super speed, because we have to cover a lot. And when it comes to syllabus, we are a bit behind. Okay. So in this batch especially. But this note, let me continue to go further. We were learning the business analysis model, and the next model comes into this entire thing is the process flow diagram. Which diagram, everyone?
Process flow diagram.
Yes. So what you see here in next on the screen defines a process flow. So this is a process of simple sales that is happening, and that undergoes various department. So because it is not that quite visible, what I am going to do is that I'm going to expand it into the presentation mode, so that it will be quite easy for us to understand and know. So here you see that uh, customer sales and management and the credit department. Four people are engaged, four department are engaged. So how this is all about the sales approval process. Okay. How does it happen? It has been defined through various, input, output, and decision boxes, and also the processes boxes. So what do you see here? Like, this kind of oval, uh, so these are some outputs. You can see that rectangle, you see that is the input, and in this way what you see is the processes, and the diamond boxes that you see are the decision boxes for sure. So what exactly is happening is that a sales call is made, uh, and its entry is punched in inside the system, and it generates the order form. uh, Customer also buys a product based on the credit form he fills in, and its entry gets inside the order entry, and that becomes the part of the order form. Now, at the management level, for such customer, the credit criteria is checked. Okay. And if it has got the if credit criteria has checked, and if the order form is generated, then credit check happens if the enough of the credit is there. It can be bad credit or good credit. Depending upon the bad credit, the sales will not continue further. And in case it has the fair balance, what is going to happen is that it will be calculated with the terms. And if terms is approved, and then in parallel, credit issue will be credit report will be issued. Okay, and based on that, the sales will be approved. If not, if it does not meet the criteria, then it goes back to the bad credit, and then the sales will not approve. So this is again, the fundamental is that you know that how the processes is. Now it may sound bit identical to the activity diagram, although here you are more talking toward the process, and that's the reason it keeps it bit separate. And uh, here the three different departments are getting engaged more towards the processes. And when you will go through the activity process diagram, activity flow diagram, you will find that was more dedicated towards the activities, multiple activities we were trying to cater inside. So any questions so far in this uh, diagram, guys? Is there any question? Yes, no? Okay.
No.
If no, then we will
No.
move further. Okay, we'll move further. Let me continue to share my screen. Yeah. We'll move further to other designs or other processes, process explanation. Um, Business model tools we are learning. We have just now touched this process flow diagram. Then comes into the picture, there was one, yeah, ER diagram, which is called as entity relationship diagram. What it is called as?
Entity relationship
Entity
diagram.
relationship
Yeah.
diagram.
So yeah, let me pull that up. Okay. This is the part of process flow diagram. I'm going to just quickly show that here the symbols and what they do, that has been identified. Like I said, that the oval that defines this is start and end. Decision is the for diamond is for the decision making. This is defining the process, and with the curve, it was defining the process itself. But in process flow diagram, this rectangle and parallelogram, that also defines the input output. And simple arrow means it is the connector or connecting. uh, Wait a second, let me pull the ER diagram for you. I'm just sliding. Okay, I'm opening the slide. Yeah, got it. So even before we go ahead further, yeah, Ankita, what you wanted to ask? Go ahead.
Yes, so what is the difference between process flow diagram and the one activity diagram that we did yesterday?
Yeah, that's what I said. I was talking about before this. Okay, it may look like bit similar, but both are different in process, which are more process oriented, where you are talking more towards the process. Okay, you will be designing more towards the processes. You will be expanding that in what all the department it flew, so that you saw. But in activities, in every layer, it is expanding to all these activities. So there is a difference between the action item and the processes. Processes may define the actions, okay, multiple action, but actions are directly in the flow irrespective of the processes. Okay, so this is the fair difference. So in the process flow diagram, what you saw, that was represent to the multiple activities into the multiple department. It was towards credit report is issues. It was approval of the approval of the sales. It was flowing through the sales department. It was also checking on the this credit criteria and all. So you see, these are the three different processes, more depending towards the process, and then sales was approving. But when you saw activity flow diagram, it was a simple process of, withdrawing a cash or depositing the cash. It will simply follow few certain steps and give you the output. So these are the few differences. Okay, got it. And if you'll see, it's entirely, its structure is different. If you'll go back and try to check, its opening and closing nodes are different. In activity flow diagram, it was the thick circle with what it was starting, and in a process flow diagram, it was starting from the oval, ending with the oval. But in activity diagram, it was ending with the uh, same thick circle, same thick dot under a circle. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there are
Yeah.
various difference into that. So cool. Let's move further, and I'm trying to bring this further. We have learned that we bring the models to depict through design the processes. There you don't need to write more in detail. So in that criteria, there are few which we are going to look at. These are the process flow diagram, ER diagram, to which we call it as business domain model, and UI wireframe. So let's start with the workflow diagram. In this workflow diagram, it may sound that it is again related to activity diagram, but understand, yesterday I said that whatever the diagrams come into the picture, that may sound little more known because the foundation of this is one. And what is that foundation for all these diagram? What the common foundation is? Yesterday I said, who
Flow
remember that?
charting.
Flow chart. Yes, you are right. It's flow charting. So that's the reason it may sound to your mind, okay, looks like it is similar, but in nature it is not. So in this workflow diagram, a simple workflow I have tried to explain. With this workflow diagram, I'm trying to cover one workflow inside the IT sector. So inside IT sector, if you are working for any software company or any software development work, then what happens, QAs or BAs, okay, they report certain differences which is not aligning with the expectation of the customer, right? So how such differences are logged or reported to a developer so that it can be corrected further? With me so far? Say yes if you understood
Yes.
what I said.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So for that, this when it is not meeting the expectation criteria, to which we can call it as an incident, defect, bug, or more famous as a defect into the IT sector. And what we are going to look in this workflow is called as defect life cycle. What it is called as?
Defect
Defect
life
life
cycle.
cycle.
Yes. So when a defect is found by a tester or BAs or whoever is reporting, it will have the status. The first status will be automatically changed towards the new. What will be the first status, everyone?
New.
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 So this new
New.
first is reported, then who has to analyze further? Because ultimately, who is going to fix a defect or differences? Who is going to fix that?
Project
The
manager?
developer.
Project manager.
No, project manager won't fix that. It's a developer
Developer.
who, yeah,
Developer.
it's a
Developer.
coder or developer or the business analyst. If it has to misalignment with the requirement, these people can fix it, not project manager. Okay. So what is going to happen the moment it is reported to the development team? In between, first development project manager come into the picture, development manager comes into the picture. For what reason? To analyze whether it is the
Investigation.
valid defect or not. Okay. So
Okay.
defect is validated on three criteria. First, whether it is they're the part of the scope or not, whether customer has asked the inclusion of this or not. Based on that, it has been reported or not, that will be checked. If it is under the scope, then whether it is a valid or invalid effect. I mean, it is not that anything like from without alignment it has been enrolled, it is not necessary, or it is already working somewhere and it has been reported. So such validity is checked. Okay, based on that, if it doesn't meet the validity, it is not valid defect, it will be rejected. But if it is the not in the scope, and say for example it is there in the future, not into the current sprint, it will be deferred. It will be done what?
Deferred.
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 And even if it is in the scope as well, then it is checked that whether someone else has been already reported or not. If it is already reported, then it will be again closed, taken towards the closer, marking it as a duplicate. What it will be
Duplicate.
marked? Yeah?
Duplicate.
Duplicate. In case in all these three decisions, it stands right that this is the legit defect and it has to be into the system, then after such analysis, it will be taken towards the developer for the fixing, and developer will assign them to themselves. Okay, or development manager, dev manager will assign to the right developer. And when it will be assigned to the developer, developer will start working on that, and then the new defects status will be changed into the progress, into what, everyone, in what status?
In progress.
In progress. And then when he will start working, he will be marked them as a as a fixed or resolved, fix or resolve, whatever status in your project management system it is, or defect management system it is. Okay, so once it is fixed or resolved, it will be assigned back to the original reporter. Okay, that may go to the tester. Okay, just give me a second, guys. Yeah. So yeah, I'm back. So it will be continued for those who reported it, and they will pick it up. They will check it whether really it has been fixed or not, and if it is, so it will be checked under a decision whether it passes the criteria or still it is repeating the same error. If it is repeating the same error, then the reporter will reopen that. So status will be changed to the reopen. What will be the status then if it is not working again?
Reopen.
Reopen. And again, it will follow the same flow and goes back towards the developer. And in the second run, if it is found that no, it is working well, meeting the expectation, then the reporters will mark them as a closed. So final status of a defect will remain what? Closed. What it will
Closed.
be? Yeah. So this defines the simple workflow. Okay, where now it may sound like similar activity and workflow. Okay, activity represent to the action item, but in activities the user is one. In the workflow there are multiple users involved. Okay, and that's the reason you will find that workflow always start with the rectangle, ends with the rectangle. Okay, the decision boxes are always found common, and rest here you won't find into the workflow diagram a different shape other than input, output, start and end shape becoming the same. So can we move to the next diagram, guys?
I have a
Yes.
question, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead with the question.
Yes.
I wanted to know about the shape of these. Are these really matter? Or we can put any kind of shape when
See,
we make
as
this
a
diagram.
business analyst, shape will matter based on what you are going to create as a part of diagram. If you know that I am going to create a simple workflow diagram, so you know, I mean, you can give these shape only. So it's the authority is completely as a business analyst in your hand. Okay, if you are going to define a simple activity done by only one user, you know what all shape you are going to bring into the table. So that again authority is you. Okay, so it won't be bothered by anyone else, depending upon what you are giving a title or workflow. Say for example, and ultimately these diagram will go inside requirement document. So if, say for example, you are explaining one use case, and that use case is towards cash withdrawal, so okay, so I have to mention or expand it into a design, mentioning that this activity I am showcasing that how user will perform a cash withdrawal activity inside the inside an ATM center for ATM. Then you can choose that and you can explain that. But again, it's all up to your decision. You see, it's a very much easy, no. When you are mentioning a certain activity done by only one user, you will bring activity diagram into place. But how has to be designed, how it will start. So generally, such activities will always start with the thick thick circle. So that you need to just remember that. Mainly, people you will find in the use cases or requirement document, you will be including more towards this activity diagram and somewhere of the workflow diagram. If a workflow and with the multiple user, you choose this. If only one user and one action item, then you will choose the activity diagram. So as a business analyst, you can bring your focus towards there. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome.
Yes.
Okay, so let's continue further with the ER diagram. That's the entity relationship diagram. So it is not more or less required by you, but to understand, to just for your understanding, I'm sharing that because based on this diagram, you may understand certain activity, what is going on. Okay, and but these will be designed by generally developers as well as for DBA people to understand. When I say DBA, means database administrator, or those people who work more inside the database, those can be DBA architect and all. Okay, but this is for your information purpose only. So what you see here is EI diagram that is more interacting inside a database with the multiple table. So as I said that these are interacting more from the database and also playing into multiple tables. Multiple what, everyone?
Tables.
Tables. And these
Tables.
multiple tables are part of database. Part of what?
Database.
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 So you will see one scenario that as a customer, you walks in a garment store, okay, and or say for example, I walk in a garment store, you are the garment owner, and you ask me certain question, okay, what exactly you want, and I say that okay, I need one apparel, and then you further ask that what kind of apparel you are looking for. Okay, means tell me more about your product. So I say that maybe I'm looking for a t-shirt. Okay, and then under the product table, you will just type into your system or into the software the name of the product. I may say that a product brand name, and then when you fetch the details whether I have this t-shirt or not, I have t-shirt or not, and then you will ask that in what size I'm looking for. Then I'll give you more data towards the size, maybe double XL or so, and then after that you will ask more, that after you have asked me that what product I want, a shirt, t-shirt, or all, then you go ahead based on that, any brand name or any specific thing I need. I tell you brand name, then you ask me the size, you fetch more details from the system, and then you will ask if I have certain color preferences or not. I give you color preferences. Now you have all those details fetched already in front of you, and you may also have the details like, okay, this product is available with me, and I have got its location also written in front of this table, that is somewhere in certain shelf. You may call certain attendant inside your store, and you can just tell to that attendant, hey, take to this person is our customer, go towards this shelf, towards this number, and fetch this color of the t-shirt with this size, and let him try or let him buy. Okay, help him to buy that, help him to take the buying decision. Now, these much clarity, how did he get? He get by certain asking simple question to the customer, but same question at the same time he is pulling with the answer from his software. He said that if I would have said that I'm looking for the t-shirt or shirt, then he may fetch the details like, okay, uh, click all the shirts. In on UI, he might have the you might have clicked on the shirts or t-shirt, but in the back end, you are understanding front end and back end, everyone? Front end, what
Yes.
is visible, back end, how does it interact
Mm,
in the backside of between UI as well as the database. So this is,
Database.
yeah, it is called as back end. Okay, so you are asking me question, getting the answer, and the same query in the structured way you are asking into the software, into the system, and that's the reason it is called as structured query language. What it is called as?
Structured query language.
Yeah.
structured
So
body
if you
language.
want to learn more in detail about it is called as SQL. You can go to, in a very simple manner, if at all you want to learn, you can go to w3schools.com, I believe. Yeah.
Okay.
And there you can find it for free. Okay, and you can learn all the queries, but minimum one query you need to learn, that select what you want to select from the table name, and whatever the table name you want to say. For example, I want a t-shirt. You might when you click on the t-shirts into your software, in the backend the query might have designed, or it might have fired a query to the database, select all the t-shirt from the table t-shirt. Okay, so this is how. Here the word is not framed, but yeah, select, then expectation from the table name. Select t-shirts from the t-shirt table. So this is how you are fetching more data into the system. So search denotion, when it is happening, and when you have bought, I have bought you. My requirement, if I have received, then its further entry goes again inside the different database, different table, in fact, and that is called as customer order table. So I might be asked during making the payment that okay, what are my details, and you may enter as a customer name, address, and contact number. Maybe tomorrow I may come back to um, uh, uh, for returning or refunding because of the defected item or something, but you should have its details with you, or maybe size mismatch or something like that, because I did not try. And then you will based on this customer detail, you will be also entering or printing the order receipt, that is with mentioning order amount and order date and more details about the product I have bought. So you are while giving away as an output, you will also entering inside you, but how it is related with multiple tables, that that relationship we have, we generally denote when before creating into the reality inside the software and database. We first understand how the things has to be flown, and this structure and this diagram is for helping uh, developers and coders to understand how things are interacting from interacting inside the database with the multiple amongst multiple tables. So such a relationship has been tried to showcase inside this diagram, and this is called as BR diagram, or business domain model. Was it able to did you understand it, guys? Are you getting it? Yes, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, you are
Yes.
understanding the relationship.
Yeah.
Anyone who is not understanding? Okay, I'll take this silence as a everyone is understanding. Now comes a very crucial part, to which we call it as a UI wireframe model. What we call it as?
UI wireframe.
UI wireframe.
Model, or we call it them as a mock-up. Okay, all right, everyone. So
Uh-huh.
Yes.
now it has the various layers. So when we say UI wireframe mockup, it is more and less used while you are expanding the requirement from the customer. What you are expanding?
The requirement
Requirement.
from the customer.
Yes. So when you are understanding the requirement of the customer, he may say that I need a button over here, I need a menu name over here, I may need a certain color of close button like this, back button like this, and blah blah, various other thing, a menu or pop-up or various other thing he has already defined you. But now it has the three layers. If it is a existing system, so there are three types of requirement. One is the transition requirement, where in reality it already exists, and you are just transferring it to the another system. So in the past how it looked like, how the software was looking like. So if you are well aware that how it was looking like, you were well aware that how in reality it will look like. So you can put the exact shape and exact picture of that element. Say for example, if I have a snipping tool, what tool?
Snipping
Snipping
tool.
tool.
Yeah.
Snapping.
This, can you see this snipping tool? I am just hovering. Yeah.
Snooping too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I have this tool and my customer has asked that I need to have the record button to export to video. Okay. So make sure that my customer can see that icon and mention in your requirement that he needs to click on this button. I will say and will mention as a business analyst. Okay. In the record menu, click on the save as, okay, export to video. Okay, export to video. I need to click on the export to video, and then I'm expanding it. So I just click this picture and place into the requirement document. Okay, inside the requirement document. If I'm so much certain that it will look like that, such UI prototype will be called as high fidelity UI prototype. What it will be called as?
High
High
fidelity UI.
fidelity UI
Fidelity.
prototype.
Yes. And in case I have not so much clarity that it will look like that exactly, and I have not extracted it from the existing system, what I can do is that I myself can go ahead and create its picture if I have understood from the client. And after creating by my own, it may look like that. And with certain effort, I was able to create my own self using my own, own style of creating diagram. If I understand that, I can go ahead and create such element and make sure that I am able to, or I am successful to showcase it into my document. That is the requirement document. If I am able to create, which is uh, just fabricated or not exactly, it's it's not exactly defined as customer wanted, but somewhere it is like that, then in that case it will be called as, certain such designs will be called as, what is happening, it's sorry about that, it is okay. So in that case it will be called as medium fidelity UI prototype. What it is called as?
Medium fidelity UI
Medium
Medium
prototype.
fidelity UI
fidelity.
prototype.
And imagine if I don't have at all
Okay.
any idea. Okay, I don't have any idea about what kind of diagram it is coming, but I know that certain button is going to come. And if I don't have idea what will be its look and feel, I can just create a simple rectangle over there indicating that is the placeholder of the button, or placeholder of the menu, or placeholder of the overlay or something like that. So I am just indicating the placeholder. When I am indicating just a placeholder, it will be called as low fidelity UI prototype. What it will be called as?
Low
Low
fidelity UI
fidelity
Low
UI
prototype.
fidelity
prototype.
UI prototype.
Yes. So as a business analyst, you are knowing that it has gotten the low fidelity UI prototype when I'm just putting the placeholder, but it will be called as medium fidelity UI prototype when I am creating by my own with my design. Then it will be medium fidelity. But if I'm putting the exact shape and exact UI, then it will be called as a high fidelity UI prototype. Any question in this and understanding these mockup, or it is overall called as UI wireframe? Okay. Any question inside it? Yes, no? So more you will interact with each other, more you will talk about it, it will get registered inside your brain. Otherwise, there are chances you may forget if you are not going to use these as a part of a lingo. With me so far? Yes, no?
Yes.
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 Thank you. So start talking about in that term so that you will be remembering that. Now next comes that is quite interesting, and it is not only just used by business analysts, it is also used by multiple project managers. It is used by business analysts. It is used by product owners, scrum master, everywhere, where they define that how work has been divided into multiple people, and there are multiple ways where you are defining one heading when it has the multiple legs. Okay. One when one software has multiple branches, multiple department, to explaining these multiple or parent a child. When I say parent a child, there is a diagram to which we call it as a work breakdown structure. What we call it as?
Work breakdown
Work breakdown
structure.
structure.
That is also abbreviated as a WBS. Can you all see that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's a simple, hierarchical representation has been given in the multiple rectangle where one thing has been taken into the place. Say, for example, if it is a retail website creation, then you will see that it has multiple department, including project management, requirement gathering, design and analysis, site software development, testing, and production. Now, inside every, this is the root, and it has multiple branches, and one branch may have the multiple sub branches. So every branch will have the sub branches. To understand that more in detail, it has expanded, focusing on the only one branch here, that is the software development branch. Okay. And then in the software development, there will be HTML design and creation, backend software enhancement. Then inside it, graphics and interface will be there, content creation will be there. And again, in these branches, in parent, child, and branch and sub branch, every branch will have their multiple sub branch. It is expanded further, like it focused from retail website to the software development, and further it went towards expanding backend software. Likewise, the same thing may happen with the multiple child and every single sub branch. Every single sub branch can be expanded further. If we'll continue to go ahead with that, your exact WBS will be created under WBS chart. Okay. Did you understand how will you expand any details under a work breakdown structure style? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, great. Thank you. Now here, when it comes to design, we have covered it. When it comes to multiple documents that you needed to know, so we will quickly see that what all the documents we need to know about. Okay, in that, okay, have you seen me when I was explaining you multiple times in the past? Before I jump to that documents, I will be talking more about. Can you see that these kind of images I might have created in the past for you? Can you all see that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So when I
Yeah.
created such kind of images, that is the time I was explaining multiple things to you. Yes, no?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And when I was explaining and I was giving them name, so it was just I was crafting my thoughts into paper. So such kind of visualization is called as visual thinking. What it is called as?
Visual
Visual
thinking.
Visual
thinking.
thinking.
Visual
What you are
thinking.
communicating, that you were design, and that is called as visual thinking. Yes. Now coming to the documents that we need. So one document you might have heard multiple times is called as BRD, or business requirement document, right? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So first you see here what all the documents you may require to be generated. First, not necessary that project vision document you should be creating, but definitely you can accompany your product owner or someone to enhance it further. So these there will be certain key component inside every single document. We will be looking at the few key component that will go inside this project, every single document, be it requirement management plan, user stories, use cases, business requirement document, or requirement traceability matrix, functional requirement specification document, or system requirement specification document, or test cases. Okay, so not all the documents you as a business analyst need to create. You might require to create business requirement document and user story and a maximum requirement management plan. Also functional requirement document. Okay, but now, as I said in the past, that we don't need to generate the bulky document. Everything will become the part of ticket. What it will become part of, everyone?
Ticket.
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 So even if you have created a bulky document, ultimately you need to convert it into the ticket, into the simple readable manner. Okay, so this is how we are going to cover it. So let's start with the project vision document. What will be the key component inside that? But let me see if Prerna is available,
Hey,
and
hi,
I will just,
Gaurav.
yeah, Prerna, yeah,
Yeah, hi.
you
Yeah,
can take this from
sure.
here.
Okay, sure. Thank you so much. Yes. So, as we are learning all the documents in detail about, what their contents are, uh, how they should prepare, what kind of, UI elements we should know about. So, as this document says, or as the document name suggests, project vision document. Okay. So, the name itself has some clarity mentioned that we are trying to document what would be the vision of this project in future, and we are trying to uh, include the elements, or I would say attributes or details from that point of view, right? We all know that there are multiple documents in the project, but project vision documents, as the name suggests, we are looking at the futuristic development of this project. Okay, so that's why it's called as a project vision document. Yeah, can I request different, I would say, participants to read out the points mentioned below this, starting from introduction?
Sorry, I'm resharing. It got.
Yeah, okay, no problem.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes,
Yeah,
is
thank you.
project vision document introduction,
Mhm.
Description of users in the system,
Project
Project
stakeholders,
stakeholders,
product overview,
Product features,
product requirements, constraints, limitations,
Mhm.
quality documentation requirements.
Absolutely right. Absolutely. Thank you so much for reading it out. So first of all, what it says is introduction. So we need to, in this document, we will have a first section mentioned as what is this basically project is about, and what are the, I would say, what is the vision that we're looking at the project. So like basically, any kind of project, if we have a website, or if we have a web application or mobile application, whichever project we are working on, let us give some detail about that project. So that stands for project introduction. Now next, an important point is descriptions of users in the system. Now, you may ask, what kind of users we are talking about, and and why they are to be mentioned here. So let me give you some clarity. For any project, for any application, the users that will manage that project, or users that will use that application, is of utmost importance. Like for example, everybody has online banking applications app on their phone. Yeah, HDFC, ICICI, Citibank, and all. Yes, no,
Yes.
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 yes, yeah. So
Yes.
we are, I mean, even I also have. So we are using these applications. So we are users, right? Yes or
Yeah.
no?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. But can you see my account details or can I see your account details even as a user?
No.
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 No? No? Okay.
No. No.
Correct answer. But then people sitting in Citibank or per se in HDFC Bank, corporate offices or database team, can they access the account details? I'm not asking about the fund details and stuff. Even that is also visible, though the data is encrypted. But can those user check all the accounts in case if there is some issue and all? So can the
Yes.
bank people check all the accounts?
Yes.
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 Now, why is that? What do you think? Why they can check and we can't check each other's accounts?
Because they have everything control in their hand. They have
They have
Yes, very well.
they have authority.
They have authority, they have access. See, because I'll just give you in very brief, there are different types of users. So you and me are like normal users, okay? We use and access only our accounts, but whereas those company people or maybe developers or database experts, they are called as admin. You know how in colleges and schools and even in offices, admin has access to all the features, but we have access to very few activities. Yes or
Yes.
no?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like HR can access everybody's payroll, but we can only check our payroll detail. HR can access everybody's holiday they can check everybody's holiday balance. HR can check everybody's in and out time and stuff like that. So same methodology, same concept. Those are called super users or admin, where they can have access to all the user details and all the I would say in short, all the account information, whereas all the project information, whereas some of the users will have only specific. So that is what, first of all, we should know who are the users in our project. So that's why information is very important. Okay. So tomorrow, if somebody asks you who are the users in the system, so you should be able to tell that users in the system or users in the applications means entities they who actually use the application or use the projects, and there are multiple types of it, starting with like normal user, admin user. There is super user also, so like depending on how much level of authority and access they have, we have the bifurcation, just for your knowledge purpose. The next point is product overview. Okay, so here what we say, the the vision that we have for this particular project. So currently, what that product is doing. See, the other day, I'm not sure, not in this batch. I think there is a bifurcation between project, product, and program. Okay, there is, depending on the time duration that we spend, depending on the work that we do. So herein, when we look at a project from a long-term point of view, generally we develop more than project, we develop products. I think multiple times given example of MS Office suite as a product, because it has been developed over a period of years, and it is still growing and it's still very much prevalent in the market. Everybody is using it extensively. So can you imagine what vision maybe Bill Gates and his team had in maybe 1996 or 2000 about MS Office? Yes. And what vision they have today means whatever features or components and functionalities they had thought in maybe 2000 year Y2K, and now they started developing that or implementing that one by one. Are you getting? Yes, no? It's as
Yeah.
simple as that during school
Yes, we are
time, we
getting.
just yeah, thank you so much. It's like during school days. I mean, I personally remember me and my best friend used to sit on the same bench, and her father being a doctor, her almost entire family member being a doctor. She always aspired to be a doctor, and she's like, "I'm gonna be a doctor." When we were in seventh standard, and I was like, taken aback, like how she can be so confident. Wherein that time I was just learning about different professions, and she was so confident, and she became one leader. So that is the way, you should have that vision. So all the multinational companies, all the big brand companies, Oracle, Google, Microsoft, and whatnot, you name it, and they have the products and they have the vision ready. So that is why this product vision or project vision document is so important, because it gives you I would say, a path or channel to grow or to go ahead. Okay, so overview of what the current product is doing, and what are the product features. So in 2000, in the year 2000, MS Office was doing, maybe out of current, it was doing 20 features. But then the team came together, they had their brainstorming sessions, and they came up with maybe 20 more functionalities to work on, and they start developing that. You see, when you can have a future vision, when you know what you're doing currently and where you want to go. So same way, they developed that application over a period of time based on the vision that they had. Makes sense? So they had decided, okay, these features we need to include going ahead, and slowly, they in every release, maybe they started incorporating. Like first, Microsoft Word was very simple, not too many features, and slowly they added multiple features. Now you can add videos, now you can add snippets. Now, I mean, n number of functionalities. I'm just giving you tip of the iceberg. You are very much welcome to check out what all features MS Office has. Go on YouTube, see a video, or explore on yourself. It will be just for knowledge purpose, just for exploring purpose. Nothing like you have to do it. But if you do it, you'll know that okay. And then if you look at Word today, and maybe down the line 5 years, it will be a lot different. There will be more features. I mean, we don't know that time. Maybe the AI would come in picture by that time, getting implemented, and there can be voiceover activities. You don't even need to type. You can just speak, and that can be, I would say, integrated and stuff like that. I'm just thinking aloud. So yes, so product overview, and then features and product requirements. So that's what we were discussing right now, what the application or product is doing, and in future what we want that product to work on, or what we want that product to be able to do or able to work. Yeah, able to perform activities. So all that needs to be mentioned. Then constraints and limitations. Now, this is a very important element in all the applications. See, every application will have their own set of limitations and constraints, which is also in a way essential. That means when I was discussing about you and me being normal users and not able to access each other's account, that is a constraint on our part. But is it a right constraint or a wrong constraint? What do you think?
Right
Right,
constraint.
right.
Why it is a right constraint?
Because that's a
Because it's
privacy.
safe that way.
Because, sorry?
Because it's safe in that way.
Yes, because privacy of each user is important. Yeah, you cannot expose others' private and sensitive data to everyone. Yes. So all these, so you see, this constraint is actually helpful for everyone. It is for the benefit of every users. Yes or no?
Helpful, yes, helpful and beneficial.
Absolutely. Yes, because nobody would want to have their details exposed to somebody else, right? So that's why, and this is just a normal example of constraint. There are sometimes technical constraint, like for example, now Facebook, okay? Do you have any idea how many people simultaneously are using Facebook now? I mean, that would be a huge number. Even I don't have that number now, to be very honest. But I think at times in millions. I mean, we don't know more than that maybe. But still, we barely find Facebook being down, or even if Facebook is down, it's like an issue. It's like a big chaotic thing situation. No, Facebook is down. Facebook is down. It was down a couple of years back. I really clearly remember, and we had given that example, and that Facebook actually incurred a lot of losses because of that, because people maybe had some Facebook live scheduled or some other activities, and it just went down without any intimation, or it was down for a couple of hours. So imagine the number of users using Facebook at the same time. So imagine, just, I mean, from technical point of view, how they are managing so many user requests, how they're managing so many data fetches. Like, I'll go and I'll check for my maybe, uh, I would say, album wherein I keep pictures. So all that pictures will travel from database. Somebody might come and they use Facebook Live, so they need all that bandwidth to go, the front camera should be properly working of their laptops, and the connectivity with Facebook should be proper. And so all that, so many people working simultaneously. So that load balancing, that's also called as load balancing. So that is also, very important, and Facebook is very well managing that, except a few hiccups, which I mean are acceptable, to be very honest, if you ask me. Yeah. So that is what limitations or constraints we can see. So any typical smaller application will not be able to have that many users at the same time. That's why I was giving this example. And the last point is quality documentation requirements. Yes. So this is what we are discussing. Every project, okay, no matter how small, how big it is, for a smaller duration, longer duration, whatever the parameters are. But there has to be quality documentation, guys. Here we have used the word quality. Remember that. Quality means that you should not just dump in all the requirements, all the, I would say, diagrams, all the information in any document. No, have separate set of documents, but then in that document, the kind of content that you enter, the kind of details that you are mentioning, those should be of good quality. You should not include unnecessary details, because these are project related documents, and they need to be proper, and they need to be correct. So maybe, maybe if you have a business requirement document, BRD, then mention the what are the user requirement that you do as a BA you had discussed, and was that confirmed by the client. If that is confirmed, then it can be signed off internally that okay, this is a requirement. So timelines mentioned, when we can start it, when we can end it. So in short, all the documents that we prepare for, I would say, any project has to be of good quality. They have to be, properly written in easy to understand manner. And all these things are ultimately required to have a project vision document. So, what is the project? What is the scope? What are the features? What are the futuristic activities that we are planning? What are the constraints we have? And what are the documentation we have? So, whenever we have all these, details up and ready with us, we can work on the, future of or vision of that product in a very, I would say, systematic manner. Yes. Any doubts in this project vision document? You did not follow it, or any particular question you have? Yes. I mean, should I consider the silence as no, guys?
No,
Yeah.
no,
I mean, that was a
no.
very, very long silence. I actually checked myself that was I on mute. Okay. So thank you so much. I know this is, to be very honest, is easy to understand. And when you will see in reality in an organization, you will know its importance as well. Yeah. So yes, Gaurav, we can go to next slide, please. Yes. The second point is requirement management plan. Now, if you ask me, the name of the documents, the names of the document itself is giving you most of the information, right? Now, what it says is requirement management. So in short, it means how do you manage the requirement? That is very well mentioned. Okay. How do you manage any particular requirement? How do you uh, I would say, add the details of the requirements, or how do you maintain any particular requirement that is mentioned? Okay. So can I request, I would say, 7 different people to read out the 7 points on the screen, please?
Purpose of
Purpose
plan,
of the plan.
responsibility
Responsibility
assignment,
assignment,
Tools
Tools
and
and
procedures
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 to
to
be
be
to be
used.
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 Guys, one person at a time, please. I mean, I don't think so anybody understood what everyone is reading. One person at a time, please.
Tools and
Yeah.
procedure to be used.
Mm-hmm.
Approach to defining requirements.
Approach towards requirements, traceability,
Workflows and activities,
Mm-hmm.
Change management.
Right. Okay. So now, as we were discussing, the first and foremost point is what is the purpose of the plan? Okay. So here we see that we are having this document to manage our requirements. See, manage our requirements means uh, in a typical, I would say, day-to-day working, there can be a now, no, and by the way, I'm imagining or I'm kind of referring to the agile way of work. Okay. I'm not referring to the waterfall method wherein every details were given at the beginning and then after that the team started working. I am referring to agile scrum methodology wherein there is continuous development and there is continuous involvement. I might say over involvement at times from the customers, sorry, from the team. So what it means that BA or any typical team member is constantly communicating, or they have, I would say, planned catch-ups with the customers. Yes. And then there can be some updations, tweaks, additions in the requirements. So how do we, maintain that? So that is the purpose of requirements, management plan. So the first is purpose of the plan. So that's what I was just mentioning. What this plan will do? So this plan will try to streamline and organize and or mention all the details provided by the customer in a systematic manner. So you as a BA or Scrum Master or product owner, you will not lose the track of all the requirements. First thing first, and it's very important. Okay. Next is a responsibility assignment. Now, this is very important. We have all the requirements mentioned, but we have not assigned the work. How that will work? So, for example, there is a wedding in your family, and there are multiple tasks like catering, decoration, or maybe transportation, or and the actual events. I would say comparing or anchoring, or actual activities to be performed. So we know what are the high level activities are involved. But then, unless we assign the work to individuals or groups, do you think that will get executed properly? Any of the activity? Yes, no? I mean, you know that there is some catering work, but then have you or you've been assigned that work? Yes or no?
Yes,
Okay, in this scenario, it's actually no, because we have not assigned. I'm just telling you that if I assign you something, yes, you are in very much control of that activity, right? Because you know that, okay, I am the in charge or I am the responsible person. But then when we don't assign something to anyone, they do not know what they need to be worked upon. They do not know
Mhm.
their responsibilities. That is why responsibility assignment is very important. Make sense? It's a very
Yes.
important point, guys. Yeah. So,
Yes.
Yeah.
yes,
Yes. Yes.
responsibility assignment mentioning is essential in this vision document. The third point is tools and procedures to be used. Now, as Gaurav was referring to Jira, so there are like multiple tools like that which can be used in a project, or not only Jira, there are like in-house applications which I mean, in my earlier organizations, there was a website where all the projects were updated, that. And then a BA or a lead can, on behalf of their team, can update and access their projects and stuff like that. So what all tools that we are using? Are you using any design tool for creating diagrams? Are you using Microsoft Project to prepare the projects, or anything that is being used, that needs to be mentioned here. The next
Mhm.
point is approach to defining requirements. Yes. So what approach we have about mentioning the requirements? I mean, are we kind of having regular interactions with the customer? Are we taking it over phone? Are we having in-person meetings? And is there any confusion about the requirements? Do we have clarity about how the customers are working, or customers are giving requirements? Are there any revisions about the requirements? Revisions means that, earlier they said, okay, we want to have a blue color of the website. Now they came up with some different color. I'm just giving very simple examples. So don't, so not to get into the technicalities, so there can be
Mhm.
any complex requirements also. But I'm just trying to come up with a very simple one where everybody can visualize and be part of the process. Yeah. So yes, so what all details they, as a user, they have, or as a client, they have shared to us and all that. So that also needs to be mentioned, and and it is for our own interest as well. We should know how many revisions we had. So tomorrow, when in case there might be any shortage of time, then we can always see that, we had to work on so many revisions given by you. As in, I'm not saying that we should provide a reason upfront, but then we can justify our hard work and our time spent. Okay. So it's
Mhm.
a very practical approach that we should mention all the updates received by the client, approved by the client to be worked upon. Yes.
Okay.
The next point is approach towards requirement traceability. Now, requirement traceability means what all requirements we have, how are we planning to implement them, how are we planning to execute them. Okay. Now, as I had mentioned earlier, many a times requirements have you know dependency. The classic example is, unless there is a login page to any of the websites or any of the account, I would say account checking bank websites, you cannot get in, right? If you don't have the login page involved, or if you don't have the login functionality, login and validation of users, can you access your account without login into system? Any of the
No.
system for that matter? No, right? Because how would you access it? There has to be a, unless you're an admin or super user, you can check everybody's detail. But then as an individual, as a normal customer, we would want to know what are our credentials. We are interested in our I would say details than anybody else's. Okay. So that is why we should know what all requirements needs to be worked upon, and in which order. Okay, order is also important. You can create goodbye page or rate us page later, because they do not have any I would say connectivity to the websites or web application or mobile application. So those do not have any dependency. But yes, login page and then, checking your credentials, checking your login credentials, prompting to use new password and stuff like that. All these things, all these requirements are important, and that's why, we should have the priorities set towards the requirement. Next is workflows and activities. As Gaurav was explaining different diagrams and workflows, those are in a way essential for projects because that's the best suitable way to depict any process flow and how the work happens, and how the system is flowing, what the user in the system is doing. They are like what time they're active and what are the overall activities that they need to perform. So all those things are mentioned, need to be mentioned in this document. And last but not the least, change management. Okay. Now you may ask, what is change management? We're talking about requirements. What is change? So here, as we always say in Agile, in Scrum, there are continuous developments happening. So there are continuous changes, continuous updations, continuous requirements, modifications happening. So if we don't track that or if we don't write that down, see, and I see most of the things are for our own reference. In your web application also, or if you're using any Jira or per se any kind of portal, you would have these details saved whenever you create a new Jira or new activity. But then as a your copy, as a customer copy, you should have the details that okay, earlier client has asked for like, a blue color for their website, which was going with their logo or stuff like that. And by the way, these things have happened with me. And when I was working as a manager on a particular project, on a banking project, so they came up with a website design and, I mean, they only suggested that we want to have this color scheme. And then while we were, in the development phase, after a couple of months, apparently their bank's logo got changed, the color got changed, and they again came to us and say, hey guys, we have changed our logo and all that new design that we have, so can we have those color combination in our app, in our websites? So this happens, there are changes in preferences, changes in senior management leadership, changes in multiple things. So we have to incorporate these things, and that is why it's always a good practice to have these changes mentioned in the document. Yes. Any doubts in this document, guys? Any? I know it
No.
is a lot. It is something new. It is not, these terms are not used in our daily conversations, but yes, it is a good to know. And then tomorrow when you go into an organization, you will have a much more comfortable, I would say, work environment when you're aware of all these concepts and methods, if I have to call it. So yes, so no doubts. Thank you so much. We can go to next slide. Yeah, Gaurav, we can go to next slide, please. Yes, use cases. Now this is very important and very interesting also, if I have to explain. So herein, can you see the I mean, can I just request you to read out the pointers mentioned below use cases? Go ahead, please.
Actors,
Description,
Trigger,
Go on.
preconditions,
Normal flow,
Alternative
alternative
flows,
flows,
Exceptions.
special requirements,
assumptions,
assumptions.
Notes and issues.
Notes and issues.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So now the case is generally called as a business case. That means a typical business scenario. Now here, for the sake of understanding, we can take the typical example that we have been talking about of checking your account balance. You're logging into system and checking our account balance. So for that, first of all, who are the actors? Actors means, in short, it's users, but when it comes to use cases, it is called as actors. Okay. So what are the actors doing? Who are all the participants? Give me a
Hello, I
second.
can't hear.
Yes, yes, I'm on mute. There's a disturbance. One second. Thank you for waiting on me. Yes. So yes, I mean I had some disturbance, that's why I had to go on mute. So guys, we were talking about actors, that means users who are involved in the project, who are working in the activity. So that's why they are called as actors. Those are basically users for your understanding. Okay. So a description. Description means what this particular activity is doing. What so when we talk about checking account balance or logging into system, so what are we doing? So description in detail would be you know that an actor come, so here we will use the word actor instead of user, okay, because it's a use case terminology. So what it will say, that an actor comes in and they provide their login credentials, user ID and password, and then they are that is being checked with their stored details in the database. If that is the correct user ID and password, then they are authorized, and they're authenticated, and then they can log in, and then they can check their balance, and they can do other activities, whatever they want to do. Okay, so this is an in detail description of this small activity. Okay, so what are the triggers, if I have to call it? Triggers is how would you use your how would you check your account balance? The trigger has to be validating the actors. Validating the actor means, if you put in the right account details, then only you will be able to see your account balance. Yes or no? If you use a wrong user ID or maybe wrong password, are you allowed to check your balance, or do you get some error message? And what kind of message you get?
We'll get
Error
some error
message.
message.
Error message.
Error.
To add
Yes.
the, yeah.
So the system will prompt a message, or it will kind of take you to again the login page stating that the user ID or password mentioned is wrong, or the captcha is wrong, or whatever, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
So what is the trigger? So trigger in this situation is that we have to log in. And always remember, trigger is such a word, whenever it is used, that means what was the event or action that caused the activity. So logging into the system caused you to check account balance and go for additional activities, right? So that's why login, valid login is a trigger here. You know how we have trigger on the gun, or when we say, you triggered my, that person just triggers me, or I get so angry. So that means what causes a particular activity, what is the cause of that activity. So that's why trigger means what is the starting point. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm,
Yeah, okay. So now we have preconditions. Preconditions is equal to assumptions. So herein, what assumptions we may have for this particular use case, that, okay, all the users are validated. Validated means when we're asking for the user ID and password, we have this assumption that all the users have been are like, above 18 years of age, and they are like valid bank users. Their background verification is done, like all that KYC thing we do, know your customer, wherein all the details are taken from us and we are being validated that we are a valid, first of all, a valid person or not. You should not have any um bankruptcy filed, or any other legal issues, and all the salary slips that you need to provide, that you're earning, and what all other evidences they have. So all that is checked, and then you are considered as a, I would say, a prospective good customer. Then only you are given those, or assigned a particular bank account in a reputed bank. Yes or no? Right?
yes.
Yeah.
So all these things, all the background checking that is happening, we are not considering that. We are assuming that okay, that is done, and it's a right customer. It's a proper
Mm-hmm.
customer. Yeah. So that's why
Okay.
it comes into preconditions or assumptions. See, because see, always remember, whenever you have any diagrams or any pictorial representation of any system, it is highly impossible or inconvenient to include all the unnecessary details into it. Now, when I am writing requirements, I can very well write all these details that I just mentioned, that the person has to be a citizen of the country, a person has to be, no legal issues, or no cases are filed. Especially when you apply for any particular jobs, in international organizations, they always have this clause that, are you from this country, or do you need a passport to stay in this country? Are there any legal actions taken against you? All that things. So what are they doing? They are kind of doing your background check while boarding you in. Yes or no? Right?
Yeah.
Have
Yes.
you
Yeah.
have you seen such questions? I mean, especially when you work for multinational companies or banks, they do have such clause to ensure that they are getting the right candidate. Okay, so these
Okay.
all comes into preconditions, assumptions that are already laid down. So we don't, and by the way, all these things will be too much to show on use case, because it will be too me too minute details, too much of in detailing, and that's why we don't have that. I mean, in detail we can have that everything is checked, and we are just using the actors to perform the activities. Okay, the
Mm-hmm.
next is normal flow. Normal flow means, as we were discussing, a user comes in, they provide user ID and correct user ID and password, and once that user ID and password goes to the backend, that is even checked with the encrypted values that we have in the backend, and it's all automated. Nobody can see your personal details, and then then you are able to just log in, and you're kind of taken to your home page, wherein you can see your balance amount, and you can do whichever activities you are planning to, fund transfer or whatnot. Okay, the next is alternate flow. Alternate flow means, in case if you don't use proper login credentials, right, there can be a scenario where you might have forgotten, or in case there is some network outage, and you are not able to log in, you just logged out from the system. So what will happen in that case? So in that case, so that scenario also needs to be mentioned. So in that scenario, the user will be brought back to the login page, or they can be brought back to a home page, wherein they, very politely the message will appear that please enter your, correct details, and other details are asked. In case if there are any security questions were asked, they can also get asked to validate that actor or that user. So that is an alternate flow. Okay, the usual flow or the actual flow that you want is the correct one, and in case if that doesn't happen, then we have the alternate flow. Then we have exceptions. Now exceptions are like, we are kind of considering that okay, our internet will be up and running, there should not be any network outage, there should not be any haphazard activities, just to ensure that there is a smooth ongoing work is happening. You are able to connect to the bank's website, your network, your and even the bank's servers network bandwidth is proper. So all that is like, I would say it will not, I mean, directly be exemptions, but it is simply that it is considered that it will happen. We are not focusing that there can be issues even for connection. Again, we are exempting the fact that we too many users are accessing at the same time. So we are not focusing on that. We are focusing more on one particular one or two users per day, how they're acting, how they're using the I would say website or web application, how they're finding it. And then the next is assumptions. Okay. Okay, special requirements. Special requirements means in case there is some additional features that you need to provide, or customer might have asked. Like for example, uh, when you log in and when you are a loyal customer of any particular bank, they give you some reward points just like that. I'm not sure they give or not. Generally, the reward points are on purchases and stuff like that. But just just hypothetically they can give you some reward points, or there can be some membership discounts, just like that. How we have some credit cards wherein they have offer for particular banks. So same way, just imagine hypothetically. So all that special requirements also need to be mentioned and written down, properly. Then assumptions. So yes, we had that assumption that every all the users are 18 plus and they're valid. There is no discrepancy on the basis of no matter what. And everybody knows how to use applications, so that this is the assumptions. And then notes and issues means in case if there is something to highlight, or something important that needs to have attention, please mention that, please highlight that in this use cases. So we will understand this in much detail in coming sessions again. But right now, we just try to give you a theoretical understanding of the use case. And trust me, when you'll actually make it, or see it, you'll have a lot more fun, because looking at those small actors and how their flow goes, and how easy it is to make decisions, looking at the charts and flows, you will really get the beauty of it. But right now, please let the concept sink in your mind. And I know we are almost past our time, 2 minutes over, but I just want to have a typical request that I have been doing. And we are not seeing that much response that we are expecting. So please revisit our website, or YouTube channel, Guru School's channel, and do watch the videos. If you are not able to find other trainers' videos, at least rewatch our videos and like and comment on this video that you have live attended today. Even if you have any questions, you can even mention there, or you can mention on the WhatsApp. So just be interactive, and please share videos of your understanding on the group, so that I told you what is the advantage. It will really help you to highlight your profile, and you can be showcased on the Guru Schools channel as well. So thank you so much for your time and patience, and please rewatch the video for better understanding. And if you have any doubts, please feel free to connect with us on WhatsApp. Yeah, thank you so much. Over to you, Gaurav.
Yeah, thank you so much, Prerna. Prerna, I would request you to stay back after the session for 1 minute or two. And for
Sure,
those
Gaurav.
who are done, before you go for the quick attendance punch-in, I have a question, because we have a lot to cover. I'm thinking to have one extra session. So I was thinking, is it okay for you to show up in your one day or something for one day in your morning? Will it be possible for you? In your morning, you
Yes, I
Yes.
can
can.
suggest me your
Yes.
time.
Yes,
So
I
Yes.
can.
what will be good? 6:30 a.m. your time or 7:30 your time? Which time, will be convenient for you? 7:30 a.m. will work for you?
7:30.
Yeah?
7:30. Yeah.
7:30 a.m.
That's
Okay.
Okay.
Eastern time you're
AM, right?
talking about,
Eastern
right?
time. Yeah, Eastern time I'm requesting. Will it be
Okay.
possible for one day only? Okay, not
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sure.
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
So I'll confirm in the group that on what day we are meeting for your 7:30 Eastern time, and we'll catch up
Okay.
whatever is remaining. But in
Okay.
coming weeks, Sunday and Monday, what is coming is the workshop. Okay. But before we move to workshop, we have to cover what is coming, that is going to happen on your morning. Okay. And which morning? Let me confirm that into the chat group after you are done with your session, after you are done with your attendance. So thank you so much everyone for showing up, and we'll talk to you again soon. Recording will be provided to you. Go ahead right now, write down your name and what do you feel like saying after that you just mentioned, and I'll go ahead and we'll take your attendance. Thank you so much everyone. Bye bye, take care and
Thank
good
you.
night.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Good
Bye.
night.
Thank you,
Bye.
guys. Good night. Take care. Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.